All right, let's dive into something a little weird today. We're going to explore a strange quirk in AI systems and how a simple moment of curiosity can lead an AI to get you, well, completely wrong. Okay, so picture this. You ask your favorite AI to whip up a beautiful poem about lilacs. You get it back and it's pretty good, but for some reason there's this weird, kind of funky, lingering scent of durian fruit woven into the words. What on earth is happening? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. See, right before you asked about lilacs, you had the AI write a super passionate essay about durian, and the AI did its job, but some of that really strong, distinctive flavor just kind of stuck around for the next conversation.
Now, this isn't just some random glitch. Nope, it's actually a known phenomenon and it has a name. So let's break down what's really going on here.
It's called AI context residue. And it's basically what happens when information or even just the tone from a previous chat leaks into a brand new, totally unrelated one. The AI isn't broken. It's just carrying a little baggage from its last conversation.
The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine you just finished a super spicy hot pot meal. And then you try to enjoy a delicate cup of jasmine tea. The tea itself is perfect, but your mouth is still on fire from all that chili. That hot pot context is leaving a residue on your tea experience. Same idea. So this raises a really interesting question. Is this a bug or is it a feature? And the answer is kind of both. On one hand, it's a feature. Remembering context is what allows for those smooth, natural conversations we all want. But it becomes a bug the moment the AI mistakes that temporary context, that spicy flavor, for one of your permanent preferences.
And this confusion, this mix-up between temporary context and your actual preferences is where things get really fascinating. It's where a small annoyance can turn into a genuine misunderstanding of who you are as a person.
Let's try another analogy. You take your pet to a temple for some kind of solemn conversion ceremony. It sits there perfectly still, looking incredibly peaceful. To anyone watching, it looks like your pet just achieved instant enlightenment. It's a miracle. But what happens the second you get home? Your enlightened pet makes a beeline for its bowl and chows down on its meat-based food. See? This is the core issue. The ceremony was a one-time experience. Eating meat is a long-term preference. A simple AI might see that one ceremony and incorrectly update your pet's entire identity.
Okay, let's take this whole idea to an even more absurd and frankly hilarious level with something the source material calls the lobster religion incident. This is where you can really see how an AI can take one little moment of curiosity and twist it into a core part of your identity.
So you find yourself at this bizarre event. You're just checking it out, for fun. There's a giant metal lobster sculpture, and as part of the whole ritual, you're asked to swear an oath. You have to promise you'll renounce lobster, and from this day forward, eat only worms. You play along, because, hey, why not? Of course, the moment you get home, what's the first thing you do? You cook up 2 delicious lobsters for dinner. Why? Because you were just experiencing the lobster church out of pure curiosity. Your actual preference, your real identity, is that you're a Taoist who happens to love lobster. The two things are totally separate. An AI watching all this could get so confused. It sees you at that one ritual and immediately tags you, member of the lobster church, and suddenly it's recommending worm-based recipes. You're left just wanting to scream at the machine, "No, I was just trying it out. My real preference never changed."
So this is a real problem, right? So how do we fix it? Well, the source material actually proposes a much smarter way for AI to handle our memory using a cool 3-tier model.
It's a 3-tier model. So first up, you have context. That's the durian flavor from our first example. It's short-term and it should just fade away naturally. Next, you have experiment. That's like visiting the lobster church. It's a one-off event the AI should notice but never ever solidify into a core belief. And finally, there's preference. This is the long-term memory, and it should only be saved after you make repeated, consistent choices that prove it's what you really want. We can even break this down into a simple formula. How does an AI know something is a real preference? Well, it should look for high frequency, high consistency, and maybe even explicit confirmation from you. And an experiment? That's just the opposite. Low frequency, low consistency, and it stays unconfirmed. It's just a logical way to separate a passing interest from a real part of who you are. And all of this brings us to the biggest takeaway from this whole explainer. It's a simple idea, but it's so important for anyone building or using these systems to remember. Who are you, really? You're a complex person.
You might try stinky tofu one time, but your true love is jasmine tea. You can visit the Lobster Church for an afternoon, but your actual belief system is Taoism. We need AI systems that get that we can respect and experience, or even just be curious about it, without abandoning our core preferences.
To sum it all up, there's a quote from the source material that just says it perfectly. A passing whim is not true love. Repeated choice is the true heart. Our AI needs to learn how to look for that true heart, not just our latest whim.
And that leads me to my final question for you. Think about all the apps and services you use every single day. Are they actually getting to know the real you? Or are they just stuck on that one time you looked up the Lobster Church?